right, JB here, the Wolf. Listen, I'm in the hot tub here. This is a new version of the Wolf's Den here, where you get another guy I promised when I had sex. Well, we're separated by a safe distance. He's a big guy. I don't trust him, but I'm gonna be careful here. But this is where all the truth comes out in the hot tub here, where like people, you get bare, you're bare it all is. So I got Harrison Jowsey, my awesome pal here, guy, a force of nature, by the way. Young buck, 23 years old. Famous around the world for a lot of stuff, by the way. So let's find out what that stuff is, how he's doing it, and where he's going next. So, Harrison, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're 23 years old. You have a Netflix show.
Yeah.
Where you were like the star, like almost the villain, but the star, right?
We did well. Yeah.
Right? And then before, you had another show, didn't you? It was
yeah.
before on New Zealand. Tell me the story. What's the story?
Yeah, so I was on the show called Heartbreak Island. It was a shambles of a show, but it did really well. Came out with $100,000, so I was pretty happy with it.
Well, how'd you get $100,000? That was a prize money?
Yeah, so I won. So I went through all the emotions, had a crazy experience, ended up fucking this chick again, and me and her won it together, and then put that money into starting a business and running up like that. And then next thing you know, I'm on this Netflix show. And here we are, in the fucking hot tub with the wolf.
So just so you know, in Australia, they are very much like New York. Their favorite word is the word fuck. It's like the favorite word in Australia. And like you guys actually introduced me to a word that I didn't know about. It's a form of fuck. And when I heard this word, I was like, this is my favorite word. Fuckwit.
Oh,
I didn't know about, we don't have that word. We do not use the word fuckwit here, but what a great fucking word, fuckwit. I actually brought fuckwit back to the United States.
You no one uses that?
Nah. You guys have a lot of words here. For example, there's a word that you guys use here. I don't want to offend any of the women here, but we might have to, because it's just like too funny. Because in Australia, like the most evil, disgusting thing you could say to a girl is you call the C word.
Yeah.
Call her, right? Can we say that? Yeah, cunt, I think it is,
yeah.
right? In Australia, it's like doesn't mean anything.
It's a term of endearment.
It's like you say, oh, that cunt of a kangaroo or right, whatever. It's like you bring guys like everything's a cunt, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, what? When I was holy shit, they're using this word. It's like it's like the one word like that. Even no matter how angry I am, I've never really used that word.
Really?
And if you go to Australia, like the women are using the word. It's like the craziest thing.
No, yeah, everyone uses it. That's how. Like I literally was on FaceTime with my friends yesterday. I was like, "What's up, cunt?"
Yeah, and it's like it's like it's interesting that it just goes to show you they talk about the power of words, but then again, it's really just that what words represent. It gives them power. Yeah. And in Australia, that word doesn't mean anything. It means like it's like a kind of a friend or like like an animal that's misbehaving or something, right? You know.
I get more offended if someone calls me mate or like champion. That pisses me off.
Really? That's another big champion's a big one though.
Yeah.
Why does it piss you off?
Like in Australia, if you call someone like, "Oh, what's going on, champion?" It's just like.
Condescending almost?
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know, I just always grew up and that's how it's always been, like, where I'm from.
So where did you grow up?
I grew up in this place called Rockhampton, Yeppoon. It's just a little bit above Brisbane. I know you were living in Brisbane.
Yeah, like 3-4 months. I had a consulting job down there, so I had a great house in Bridgeman Downs.
Did you like it?
I loved the house. It was in the it was interesting because it was in the wrong part of Brisbane. Yeah. It was like this one beautiful area left in this part of Brisbane. It used to be like the best part. Then I think it shifted where there was another part that was much nicer. But this house was unbelievable. Tennis court, pool. I think we had 3 acres of land. Yeah. So it was pretty fucking cool.
You get a good spot out there for a good price.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
So tell me about this Netflix show now. So how did this Netflix show come about?
So I was actually applying for a whole bunch of reality TV shows because I did the first one. And I was actually at university when I did it. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't what I enjoy doing.
In school.
Yeah, school. Sorry, college.
The school shit, by the way.
Yeah, I was like, this isn't for me. I don't like listening to people. I like figuring out, making mistakes, and then going from there.
Right.
So I did that first show, and then I realized that, like, fuck, I really enjoy entertaining people. Like, I really enjoy, like, making people laugh and making a dick out of myself. Right. So then I was applying for a whole bunch of TV shows. I was meant to go on Love Island UK, and then the same casting guy was like, hey, we've got this big show. We can't tell you who it's for. We can't tell you anything about it. But I actually thought I was going into, like, a fuck them. Like, I thought everyone was about to be fucking. Because the whole casting process was like, how many people have you had sex with? This week, how many people had sex with?
Like, how much of a slut are you, basically?
Yeah, like, have you had a threesome? Have you done this? I'm like, yes, ticking all the boxes. I was, like, horny by the time I go in. Really? And they drop the rules on you in, like, the first night. So you can't kiss, you can't fuck, you can't beat yourself off, you can't do anything. If you do, you lose money off the prize run. There's $100,000 up for grabs. Everyone gets a slice of the pie. And if you do that, you lose money. So I, of course, lost the most amount of money.
So wait a second. So it was 100,000 total. Yeah. How many people on the island?
10.
So, and everyone gets a percentage of that 100 grand.
Yeah. So look,
How much did you end up with?
7,500.
So you got less than your 10 because what were you doing? You're banging everything inside.
I was being a dirty dog, so I fell in love. I fell in love with this girl. We had the craziest experience together, and then one thing led to another. One night when we had the private suite, and we just went crazy. We were just like, fuck it, we may as well. That happened, and then we lost a whole bunch of money for everyone. Everyone was pissed at us, and then later on we got a chance to make it all back. We got locked in this room. We weren't allowed to touch each other for like 24 hours. I handcuffed myself to a chair. Crazy. It was actually wild. It's really hard to be drunk and not touch her.
Why is that? She's that hot?
She's so hot. Yeah.
Really?
She's really good looking girl. She hates me now, but yeah.
Why does she hate you now?
We just had a terrible breakup. It was like really ugly. It was just like we're both very stubborn. We're both very like, it was just very very ugly on both sides. So.
What do you think it is about reality TV shows that intrigues people so much? I have a theory. I want to tell you what it is, and then you can comment.
Yeah.
My theory is that I don't mean this is not an attack on you in any way.
No.
It's not meant towards you. It's meant more towards a different type of show.
Yeah.
But a lot of the shows are more about like a train wreck of Beverly Hills Housewives or Honey Boo Boo. Or these were like you look at the worst of humanity. I'm not saying that the Beverly Hills Housewives are bad people. I don't mean that. But you look at them and all the backstabbing and all the terrible shit. People say, I feel pretty good about my own life. Yeah. So is it partly that, or is it also the fact of living vicariously for other people?
I honestly think it's mainly to feel good about yourself. Like
so watching a train wreck, right?
Yeah, you legit watch someone like me go in there and make an idiot of myself, bust a quick nut, embarrass myself in front of the whole entire world. Like people laugh at that shit, like the dumb shit we say, because it's not like you're getting the most intelligent people on. You're getting people on who feel entitled, have big personalities, and feel like this is their like big break and shit like that. So it's very
people who are in the middle of their like 15 minutes of fame, basically, right?
Yeah, that's it. And it's very interesting to see because obviously you get a big splash of light, eyes like right away, and it kind of like it dissolves after a while because we're not really interesting. We're not really like fun people. A lot of these reality TV stars aren't making businesses. They aren't making moves. They feel like this is it. They've made it. So it's interesting to see the Love Island people or like the other reality TV people. There's not many people have really made it past their TV show. They've done it and they've just dribbled off.
Right. So, and I understand that myself, having a movie made about you, and then like you get this shot of like Well, I was well known before, but I obviously had this massive shot of global fame waiting for me in my case, right?
It's crazy.
And then, but I guess in my case, because it was grounded in business, it was easy for me to then. So I never looked at it as like almost a moment of fame. I looked at it just like, okay, well now I can really. I was already doing it. I was already going around the world teaching and mentoring people. So, but I understand what you're saying. So for you though, you've been able though to make the leap, right? So I guess what it's about is for you staying relevant in some way,
for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And that was actively on your mind when this was happening.
Yeah. So when the show aired, I told everyone on my cast before the show was coming up, I was like, you need to start an online business. You need to have a product. You need to have something. So when all these eyes are looking at the link in your bio or clicking something, it can take them somewhere so you can close, you can make bread, and you can go from there. Right. But everyone was like waited till like a month, 2 months after the show to like try and sell like phone cases and shit like that. Right. And no one capitalized on TikTok or YouTube or any other platforms or tried to collab because everyone thought, you know what, we're hot shit. We should live in this moment forever. Whereas like being in LA, I was trying to be seen with everyone. I was trying to hang out with as many people as possible and make those connections before like the light kind of dimmed down a little bit. So now people see me more as a TikToker, which is very funny.
Really?
Yeah, because I do those cringe like dances and lip singing. Yeah, it's so bad.
So how do you know those? There's a house full of TikTok this year.
The Hype House?
Yeah.
They're great. They're punching numbers. You'd be surprised that like they just bought a $5 million mansion. Like it's crazy the type of money that these kids are pulling in from their content.
There's Bryce and right.
They're the Sway House. So they're
the Sway House, right? That's Sway.
They're really smart as well. They've got a really good team behind them. They're killing it. Yeah.
So what's your goal with the whole thing with TikTok and everything?
Honestly, my goal is to be a positive impact. Like I want to be someone that people can look at and either feel better about themselves or laugh with. Like I want to create like you know how you look at Kevin Hart and you're like, oh shit, this dude's funny.
Right.
That's how I kind of want to be perceived.
Right.
I want to go into that.
So you're not like laughing at Kevin Hart. You're laughing with Kevin Hart.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Right.
But it's obviously a long shot away, and I'm nowhere near Kevin Hart's level. But I'm just figuring out along the way and just trying to keep the wheels rolling. Yeah.
What's the most important thing that you learned about yourself, like during this whole experience, like when you were riding high with the whole, Netflix show and you're getting all the eyeballs on you? Is there anything that you really kind of came to know about yourself?
That I really value being by myself and having time to sit down and like get in my own head and like relax, because it's very easy to be caught up and like refreshing. If it's got this many likes, this is like what's going on here, this person wants to hang out. It's really good. Like I just bought a PS5. I've never gamed in my entire life. I've never really sat down. I usually like micromanage my shit.
Right.
So now I'm like taking a moment, like, okay, I need to just sit down and want to meditate, get out of my own head and like realize that that's not real life, and take a step back and like it's not going anywhere. Just relax a little bit.
What do you think it is about like the generation? You're like right in this this age group that's like basically your whole life is centered on social media, right?
Yeah,
is that fair to say?
Yeah, 100%.
So do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's
or it's just it is what it is. Like
it's honestly, I think there's good and bad for sure. I feel like there's definitely areas where you can feel motivated. Say someone could look at your content and be like, cool, like I can take that away and get motivated, hustle, make shit happen. Or you could look at someone in Mexico buying a new watch and then go, oh, I feel terrible about myself. You know what I mean?
That's the darker side, right? I think the darker side is this idea that like what you are seeing is curated moments from people's lives, and they want to present their best selves to the world. So you can easily look at that and say, wait a second, they're always so happy. They seem so confident. They're so carefree. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? I'm depressed. But actually, they're probably more depressed than you are. They're just like smiling, right?
No one's posting their bad days. Like no one's gonna sit down and be like, oh, I feel sad today, I better post a story, because no one wants to watch that. People want to see people having fun, having a good time, and being successful and doing their thing. It's very interesting. It's very like, it's kind of sad, to be honest. Like seeing all this stuff and seeing like the false perception. It's like also living in LA, like the false perception of success and money. And like as soon as I moved here, I was like, I'm never gonna spend any money on jewelry, anything like that. I'm gonna put my money into real estate, and that's how I'm gonna go. But now, like being in the city for a year, I've got a Cartier bracelet, I've got a Hublot. I'm like looking at buying a Lamborghini. I'm like, this is like,
it's easy to get caught up.
It's
right?
So easy, especially with the money coming in as quick as it is.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with having nice things.
Yeah.
Right. And the question is you're buying something because, okay, if you want to have a Lamborghini because you always want to have a cool, really nice car, and you love driving it and feel good, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't think anything wrong with that if you work hard and you get the money, right? Honestly. I think it's if you're doing that to impress people or to like try to put on sort of like some facade, right? But then again, the other side is that these things are also like props in your own life as someone that is worthy of being looked at. So I guess there's some expectation, right? Sure. Like if you go online, you see a lot of these people who are selling online courses, the kind of basic scam or the one that put your stand in front of a fucking jet or a fucking Lamborghini with a stack of cash, say you can have this too, right? Yeah. So that side of it. I don't think you really. That's not what you're doing, right?
No. I feel like there's definitely aspects of my life where I want to post it, and I'm like, oh shit, because I've got friends who are like worth tens of billions, right? Back in New Zealand, so I always feel like a dick when I like post, say, oh, I just got this, or I'm wearing this watch, and I'm like, you know what? There's people that actually have real life money and like, fuck you money, and I should just take a step back because I like my couple mil a year is nothing on what they got.
So tell me about your childhood. What was you grew up totally no money?
No. I grew up like very blessed. My dad he's got this tag identification company. So him and his dad started the company when they were a lot younger. So if you have a dog or a cat and you register them with the council, they usually get like a little plastic nylon tag that you put around the collar. Right. So he invented that. That started the wheels rolling when we were younger. We're very blessed. I went to school in Australia, got kicked out of all the schools in Australia. I had to go to school in New Zealand. Got kicked out of school there.
Why did you get kicked out of school?
Because I was a piece of shit. Like I was such a little fucking rat. Like I was so bad.
Misbehaving. And
starting a fight club, blowing up toilets, spraying guys down with hoses in the shower. Just being a bad kid. And so I had to do my final exams in a tent in a park because my parents were like, we're not going to get you a hotel or anything like that. You fucked up. So you have to live in a tent for the last 2 weeks, which is good. I needed it. So yeah, I grew up with a brother, 4 half sisters. My family they're not massively wealthy, but they did really well for themselves. I think my dad's at the peak was turning over $2 million a year for his business, which in our town is insane, which is crazy. Sure. From nothing, so I was like, always looked up to him, but now being in like the big smoke, realize that shit, like there's so much of the world, there's so much money to be made, there's so much potential with everything, which is really exciting, which is really cool.
All right, let's now take the second part of this podcast out of the hot before we turn into fucking prunes. We'll head over to the bar, okay, for round 2. First, a word from our sponsors. Be right back. If you want to grow your business, you want to diversify your content, this is a product that I 1000% believe in and use myself every day. And it's been a game changer for me, making more money for me than any other app I've used that's even close to this. It's called Melon. And Melon is a web-based live streaming studio that makes streaming easy and lucrative. It is literally the best out there by a country mile. And I'm looking you in the eye. I'm telling you, that's a fact. Go to live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube in just 5 clicks. All of them at once. You're not going to find a better tool out there than Melon for your live streaming needs. Impossible. Better streaming in HD, recording functionality, real-time audience interaction. You get everything with Melon. So start streaming with Melon today. Go to melonapp.com/wolf. That's Melon, MELON-APP, melonapp.com/wolf. Sign up for a free account. Because of me, it's free, by the way. You get a high-performance professional live streaming tool for free. It's blazing fast. The response time is like that. Low CPU usage. It's all available right in your browser. Go to melonapp.com/wolf and start streaming today. This is a no-brainer. If you don't try this, honestly, then you must not like making money online. All right, so we're in alternative location here to deep prune out of the hot tub. Now let's get down to some of the good stuff. So you're 85 days sober, my friend, right?
Yes, yeah. I've been on the sober train.
So why did you get sober in the first place?
Honestly, I was once the show aired. I was going out. I was drinking. I was partying, doing what most people do at this age. And then I realized, fuck, like none of these people that are around me are gonna be millionaires. None of these people that are that I was drinking with day in day out are gonna be doing something positive that's gonna change or try and change the world. So I took a step back and I realized that I was getting very disconnected from myself and my goals.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I've got my 90-day goals. I got my 3-year goals, my 5-year goals, and I'm going backwards. I'm like, I was getting way too complacent, making good money. And I was like, fuck, like this isn't the person I want to be. I don't want to continue to be known as the party dude or the piss head. I want to save it for good occasions.
Right.
So like after this fight, we're going to be going crazy. And then I want to go back sober again.
So tell me about the fight. What's the story of this fight?
There's a bit going on. So it's YouTubers versus TikTokers, right? Maybe we'll get you on the card.
I strongly doubt it, but let's I'm interested to hear about it. I'll watch.
But no, it's just the money, the exposure, the opportunity. It's honestly a no-brainer. Like millions and millions of dollars, millions and millions of eyes. To go out there and just essentially be a gladiator. Like it's really exciting to be a part of or be offered an opportunity to be a part of a gladiator sport where, your favorite TikTokers, your favorite influencers who seemingly look like a bunch of pussies online are going to go in and just punch each other in the head. Like it seems like a good time. And we get our bread up, get more eyes and ears.
So who are you fighting now?
Well, they're still negotiating. I called out Jake Paul. He's a little fucking bitch. I don't know. Like,
wait. So I know Jake Paul, right? Yeah, I know his brother a lot better.
Logan's the best. I love Logan.
I like Logan. All right. I don't know Jake that well, but tell me what'd you say? He's a little bitch. Why is he a little bitch?
Well, here's the thing: is that I was dating this girl who was his ex, and some reason he got insecure and decided that he wanted to get back with her or like try and do some shit. And I knew that she always loved him, and there was a soft spot in her heart for him. So I was like, whatever, cool, do your thing. But then he got annoyed that I was like hooking up with her and was like posting about it and like trying to prove a point. So I'm like, bro, I really don't know why you're more upset than me. Very fucking weird. I think he's a bit of a weirdo. And then there's been some back and forth. I hook up with a girl that he's dating, and I didn't know. Like he was talking to them about me, and they're just like coming to my camp, and all this shit's going back and forth. I pull up to Miami, he does nothing. I pull up to the city, does nothing, tries to catfish me. He's just a very insecure and weird.
Explain
individual.
what catfishing is.
So catfishing is when you have an online profile and you pretend to be someone else. So I was messaging this girl who lived in Miami on Snapchat, and then it turns out he was replying like on her phone all evening, like she's like, sorry, like he had my phone and he was messaging you, which I thought was very fucking weird. I'm like, look, if you've got a crush on me, just give me a call. We might break the internet. I don't know what's going on there, but it was very weird. I was just like, I don't know why you need to try and prove that point, but now I would love the opportunity to beat the fuck out of him, because it would be great, and we've been training hard for over a year, so it's about time I get to put this kid on his fucking head. So
do you think? So as I said, I don't really know Jake as well.
Yeah.
I think he's a good guy. I mean, I know you have your shit with him. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about him, because he's always been, very respectful, right, to me.
For sure.
But you think he's a pussy and an asshole? But like, do you think you can kick his ass?
For sure.
You do?
I've got the height.
Why is that? Because he's boxing now. I think he's a decent boxer, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he did really well, but he's also had. It's also pretty easy to look really good with those opponents. Like you've got Nate, who's, no disrespect to Nate, he's a really good guy, but like running at him, and then his like Gibb kid, it was just like whack-a-mole, where it was like bobbing up and down. It just was like, it was embarrassing to watch.
Right.
So you look at those. If you could put a toddler in the ring with either of those fights going on, and they'd come out looking great. So I just think that. Yeah, he's put in the work. He's been doing really well, so hats off to him. But I got the height, weight advantage. We've been grinding over here. I got a really good team, and I've asked people, because I said, look, like I'm completely biased. Like I feel like I'd beat the fuck out of this kid. Someone tell me how I'm looking, because I haven't posted any of my workouts. I haven't posted me hitting the bag or anything like that. So I'm the heavy underdog, regardless. Because I'm like, I'm gonna keep all this stuff closed away until it's go time, until I'm allowed to show. So yeah, I just asked the people around me, and they just said, look, like it wouldn't be a question. It'd be very easy for me. So
really, so now, were you like a brawler in your really young days? Like, do you have a lot of fights, like street fights and stuff like that?
Yeah. Also, like growing up in Australia, we have a very big like rugby culture. So people out and about. Some people like searching for fights. I've been in bar situations where it's been like 3-on-1. Or just we get bored and we just decide to scrap, or we go down an alleyway and just fight. Like it's crazy. In my school in New Zealand, I started a little fight club. We had towel fights where we'd wrap the towels around our hands and we'd beat the shit out of each other till the towels fall off. I fought 4 guys back to back, and the last guy almost knocked me out. So I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore, because I almost got embarrassed. So I fucked his sister. So yeah.
What happened when you were on this island?
Yeah.
Right, like you said, all this like sex happened, but was it on like? How much could that be showing on TV and stuff?
So usually, if you're in a reality TV show, if you're in that moment, the more you show, the less gets shown. If that makes sense. So if we're about to get heated in the moment, rip the blankets off, because then it can't get shown because it's too vulgar. But if you have like a blanket over you and you can see your butt going like up and down, then they'll show that. But they try and like steer away from that, because obviously it's not Pornhub, it's not a porn site, but they want to like imply that you guys definitely hooked up.
Got it. What's your plan? So okay, you're boxing, right?
Yeah.
And you're doing that because big money in that, right?
Yeah.
Which is interesting, and also you say it's good for your sort of bringing more eyeballs on you, right?
For sure.
What do you think of the next like 5 years? Where do you see yourself?
Well, I'm launching this new company, which is probably a couple of months away, which is more so into tapping into people's like spiritual side and sitting down and like, because obviously with quarantine, everyone's like had a lot of time to get in their own heads and like think about shit. So I'm trying to create products that help people, like relax a little bit, think about what's going on, and meditate and manifest, because I'm huge on manifesting your reality. So honestly, next 5 years, hopefully I'm looking to launch, another 4 to 5 more companies, get more involved in this, but also journey down the entertainment route. Like fighting isn't my end goal. Like that's not who I want to be. I want to be seen as I said before, someone where people look at it and like laugh and get excited about my content. So my goal is to have be in a Will Ferrell movie, have my own Netflix series, and then just have 5 to 6 companies in total that benefit people and make people feel good and better about themselves. So yeah, that's the goal.
What's the best piece of advice you can give someone in their early 20s, late teens, Or maybe someone even older who wants to reinvent themselves. Someone that wants to like go that route of, becoming an influencer, so to speak, famous. Is there some sort of formula or step 1, step 2, step 3 you can give them?
I think the biggest thing I ever did when I was trying to figure out Instagram and blow up on social media was there's a blueprint. There's people that are doing it that is working. So I would find someone that you're interested in becoming or becoming like, and then look at how they're doing it, how many times a week they post, if they use any hashtags, if they do anything like that. But most importantly, just don't give a fuck about anyone, like what anyone thinks, because people are going to get in your own head. Don't tell people, oh, I'm going to do this, because then they'll talk you out of doing it, and you won't shoot that shot and you'll completely miss. So I think the biggest thing is understand this: we only have one shot at this life. We only get one chance. We may as well do as much as fucking possible. Enjoy, live it up in the moment, make mistakes, learn from it, and go from there. My biggest thing when I was growing up is I gave a fuck about what people were saying. And now those people are making, like 40 to 50K a year, and I can do that in a fucking day. So yeah.
So don't be concerned what other people think about you or view you, or like just the haters out there, right? You have a lot of haters?
I think with any attention, you're going to get haters. You're going to get people who don't like you. Like I'm sure you probably have a couple that try and annoy you, but I definitely do now, especially getting into this fight scene. It turns out there's a lot of fucking Jake Paul fans. So yeah, there's a lot of fucking haters, but that's it.
And how do you deal with the haters?
I just ignore them.
You ignore them.
There's an interesting thing I always watch. Like I've always seen like big influencers and celebrities, they'll reply to that one shit comment and they'll like give that person attention and leave all the good comments. See, I do the opposite. I try to reply as many good comments as possible and completely ignore the shit ones, because those people will just fizzle out. They'll go away. Or you just put on comment blocks and then their comments just don't appear. It's the easiest way to do it.
All right, where did they reach you? Where's my fan base they want to look at?
If you want to look at me, at Harry Jowsey everywhere. I've got a podcast called Tap In. You should definitely come on if you're free. I know you're a busy man, but that's pretty much it. At Harry Jowsey everywhere.
All right, guys, listen, check him out, man. This kid is funny as shit, by the way. Says it like it is. Check him out, and thanks for tuning in. Share this with your friends, everyone you know, and tune in again next week for another awesome episode of The Wolf's Den, and we'll talk again soon.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Buddy.